Hi, just going to make a short video. Glowing Cabbage made a video in December about thinking outside the box, buying music from a genre that you never really explored, or from a genre that you never uh, buy. So I've got quite a big collection and also quite wide. Um, and to be quite honest, even if you only have one or two records from some sort of music style, well, then you have at least one or two records. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of hip hop, but still, I have a couple of records that could be uh, counted as hip hop, and so I thought, what kind of music style could I buy here? The idea was to buy a record of some music style that you never listen to, or that you don't care much for, and just exploring it. So it was very hard, and I can't really. I don't have much funk, but I've got some funk. I don't know much about funk. Uh, so and I wouldn't buy any techno, because I have to draw the line somewhere. To me, sorry, techno isn't music. Period. End of discussion. Uh, so what could I pick? Well, I'm really not a fan of the 80s and the music of the 1980s. I grew up then. I was 5 years when it began and 15 when it ended. But still, so much of the pop music that was played in the radio back then just bore me to death. So I haven't bought anything until now, because I wanted to try myself. What do I really feel? I mean, I've much older now. Can I find something interesting in this music? So I found a 45 RPM, a 12-inch 45 RPM of the German group Alphaville, big in Japan, with the extended remix and extended instrumental. Um, and of course, Big in Japan is one of the most famous songs of the 1980s. So I thought, well, uh, could this be? I remember the song, of course, when it was popular, because it was played all the time, all the time, all the time. So, still, I bought it and I listened to it. Well, not the instrumental side, because I found that quite uninteresting to do. And so I listened to the extended remix, which is a bit different than the version you heard in the on the radio. Um, so, well, much longer, if nothing else. And well, I listened to it, and I still think it's incredibly boring. So no, sorry, I still don't like the pop music of the 1980s. Still not, still can't do it. Too many synthesizers, too much hairspray, too little ideas, and the 90s much better when it came to ideas too. I mean, it was less polished then, but the whole 80s was so genderless and polished and synthesized, and oh god. So I listened to this the whole 7 minutes and 25 minutes, and I think, well, that was quite good of me, because I didn't imagine that I would be able to sit through it all, but I did. Um, of course, it has a nice beat, and if you want me to say something good about this record, is that it sounds good. It has a good sound, and I always felt that it's a shame that the 45 RPM single, 12-inch single, had its most popular era during the 1980s, when the least interesting pop music was made, because the maxi single has very good sounds very good in general. Okay, so yeah, I thought I'd show you another thing too, that well, it doesn't have anything to do with genre, but more, I never buy a record mainly for the cover, because I feel that I must find the okay, you can say, okay, this looks prog and interesting, but mainly for the cover, I don't buy any records. But when I was out finding these blues records, I thought, well, why not make an exception there too? So this is also thinking a bit outside the box, even if it doesn't come to music styles, but more to principles. So I got out and bought this. Smash Hits Elvis Style Volume 2 on Music for Pleasure. An obvious release from the 70s, probably mid 70s. It doesn't say. Music for Pleasure was EMI's budget label, and they released so many issues of all kinds, and also reissues of their ordinary albums. But this is, well, this is the kind of record that will probably never really become collector's items, because of course it says Presley style. It means that it's lots of famous Elvis tunes here played in a style that resembles the original, but it isn't any original artists, of course. Um, and I'm playing it here in background. I'm not going to make it any louder, because you know my webcam doesn't really like when I do that. Um, but when I've listened to it, I mean, I recognize the tunes and they're fairly well played. I mean, the musicians know how to play and the singers are quite good, but it's also very flat and boring, like a neutered Elvis. So, but I have to say, maybe I'm getting old, but I really like this cover. Very sweet girl. Very sweet girl. I wonder what she's doing now. She's probably a grandmother today. Okay, well, that's about it from me for now. Bye bye.